Hello everyone, it's Meli aka Penny Royal Teapot, and I'm here to show you guys how I created this nice summer sunset eyeshadow makeup look. Usually I'll do cut creases for vibrant looks like this, but I decided to do something different. I decided to do a halo eyeshadow look. Since I do have hooded eyes, I want to show people how to do eyeshadow looks despite your eye shapes. So if you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Anyways, let's get started. So the same thing as all my other tutorials, I start off with my brows, and for my brows I just filled them in with the NYX Tame & Frame Tinted Brow Pomade in the shade Espresso. And to clean up underneath my brows, I'm using the LA Girl H2 Pro Concealers in the shade Toast and Dark Cocoa. So I use my e.l.f. flat brush to apply the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm taking my beauty blender to blend it out. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm actually adding a lighter concealer on my lids that will serve as my eyeshadow base, so I want the two to transition seamlessly. So same as my last video, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer in the shade Porcelain, and I'm just taking the doe foot applicator and applying the concealer to my eyelids. And the trick is with hooded lids, you always want to apply your concealer or eyeshadow base, whatever it is, you want to apply it above your crease. No matter whether you're doing a halo look or a cut crease, you always have to kind of go above your crease to avoid any smudging, as well as making sure that you can actually see the eye look. So the first shade I used for this look was this magenta shade from the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. This palette does not have names, so I'm trying my best to describe it, but it's a very bright pink. It's the brightest pink in the palette, and I'm just taking this and I'm applying it around the crease of my eye. Like anytime I start off with my eyeshadows, I always apply them slightly above the crease and then blend it out. So after applying that pink shade from the NYX palette, I'm now going into my Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette, and I'm taking that dark purple shade Candice, and I'm applying it right underneath where I placed the pink on my eyes. I start off with the inner corner and then apply the purple on the outer corner of my eyes, and then finally work my way to the middle of my eye, blending that, creating a transition between the purple and the pink, because as you saw in the beginning of the video, we're creating a gradient. So we're gonna have the pink on the top transitioning into the purple. So I honestly could have rocked with the purple shade from Juvia's Place, but I wanted that purple to have a bit more depth and also be a bit more cooler. So I went in with the purple shade in the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, and I just applied that kind of where I applied the Juvia's Place shadow. Well, I'm just taking the purple from the NYX collection and slowly deepening that up. The pink was starting to get lost when I applied the two purple colors, so I went back in with that same shade, same pink from the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, and I packed it back on. So same thing like the beginning, I'm just going to take the L'Oreal concealer in the shade Porcelain and apply it to the middle of my eyelids. And like I said in the beginning, you want, even with the halo part of your eyeshadow look, you still have to take the concealer and apply it slightly above your crease if you're like me with hooded lids. But start off small. If you have to add more concealer, just add slightly more on top. Taking that same flat brush from e.l.f. and blending it out as much as I can. It's time to create that halo effect in your eyeshadow look. So I'm going in with this orange shade from Juvia's Place palette, and I'm applying it practically in the shape of the concealer, except making sure to leave the middle of where I just applied that concealer without the orange shade. You know, do not touch that part. The reason why is because we're going in the last shade. You know, we're going in with that last color, yellow. This golden yellow shade from the NYX Ultimate Brights palette, and pack that on right in the middle in between the orange. And to apply the yellow and the orange shade in my halo, I just used this eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. You definitely want to take a smaller brush to create the halo effect in your look versus the shades you used above the halo. And I took another eyeshadow brush from e.l.f. just to make sure that all 4 colors are blended properly. As you can see, the transitions are a little stiff, so sometimes you need to go back in with the colors and just blend everything out. So you can finish the look here, but I decided in terms of the eyeshadow, I wanted to add eyeshadow to my lower lash line. So I just took the concealer as a base. Then I went in with this neon pink shade from the Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette and just packed that on my lower lash line. You can leave the eyeshadow as is, but I always wear eyeliner with my looks, so I'm using the same old the NYX Epic eyeliner in the shade black and just creating a winged eyeliner look. So I wanted to make the wings a little bit bigger than I usually do. Sometimes when you do that, they may not come out even. So if you want, you know, just to make sure that your wings perfectly cut, all you have to do is add some concealer, the same concealer you used to highlight your brows with, just to clean that up. So I'm going back in with the LA Girl concealer and toes. So I always do my lashes off camera, so right now I'm going to jump straight into the face makeup. Before applying my foundation, I always go in with concealer that is my skin tone to make sure that there's no, you know, dark spots or hyperpigmentation, as well as just to clean up the eye look. So for concealer, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Full White Concealer in the shade 435, aka Cafe. I also apply this concealer above my brows just to, you know, shape them up. For foundation, my current favorite drugstore foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear Foundation in the shade 530, aka Deep Amber. And to apply that foundation, I just use the same brush that I use for my concealer, the Real Techniques 200 brush. If I don't use this brush for my foundation, I usually use another Real Techniques brush. Just the orange foundation brush you may see in a lot of people's videos. So after foundation, I'm taking the LA Girl HD Pro Concealer in the shade Toast, and I'm using that to highlight underneath my eyes, my chin, and a little bit on my forehead, even though it didn't make much of a difference. And I'm blending that out with the same Real Techniques brush I always use to blend out my concealer. The set where I just concealed my face, I'm using the black Opal True Color Soft Velvet finishing powder in the shade Medium, and I'm just packing that in because I do not bake. I just set my powder into place. So to contour my face, I'm using the Revolution Glow Bronzer in the shade Deep Dark. I'm using this bronzer to contour near my cheeks as well as my chin. And to contour my nose, I'm using a lighter powder because this one is pretty deep. To contour my nose, I'm using the Sculpt powder in the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette, and this is the Dark to Deep palette. This, I think, is a contour brush from e.l.f., and I'm just using that to, you know, contour my nose. To make sure everything is blended into place, I'm using my Black Radiance pressed powder in the shade Black Coffee, and just, you know, applying a light amount all around my face. So for my blush, I'm using this red shade in the Juvia's Warrior 3 palette, Kahina, and I'm just applying it on my cheeks. To highlight, I'm using my Wet n Wild loose highlighter in the shade Hustle and Glow. the same Wet n Wild loose highlighter in the inner corner of my eyes just to give the sunset look a nice golden pop. And so to set my face, I just use my MAC Fix Plus spray, and that is it for this tutorial. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Stay safe, and I hope to see you again. Thank you.